So the first thing that you're gonna do is trim up your floral pieces. Now I had like quite a bit length of stem, and I kind of played with it before I got on the live, and it was like made of steel. So I went ahead and cut those off because you did not want, I was like all over the place trying to get those. So you'll take your wire cutters, hopefully yours is not made of steel like mine, and you'll just trim it off so that it's like nice and tidy, kind of right to the first leaves on your piece. Now one thing that we're going to do is we're going to put these leaves and I'm going to glue them kind of like so on to the bottom portion of the plate, and there will be a seam like right where the two leaves connect together. And so what I went ahead and did before I'm gluing, I want to let you guys know, is on one of your pieces of floral leaves, just take off a handful of leaves, because we're going to glue these leaves on where these two pieces come together. We're going to glue these on, and we're going to hide that seam with a couple leaves. So just pull off a few leaves, and we'll go ahead and start gluing those on now. So like I said, trim with some wire cutters, cut these guys down. I already did it because they were seriously heavy duty, and I didn't want to make a fool of myself on Facebook Live. Okay, also, you're going to take your floral leaves and kind of bend them to the shape of your plate. So mine, I tried to kind of do it already, just a nice little curve to the plate. So we're gonna glue with our hot glue gun, and I've had this guy warming up on the side already. So just kind of put a couple different spots of glue. And don't forget to like, comment, and share as we go. I love crafting and chatting with you all. Has anybody started any of their fall decor stuff yet? It's still like 90 degrees here. So I would definitely say fall is not in New Mexico yet, but hopefully it'll start cooling down before long. All right, so just a couple seconds to let that dry. You want to make sure you kind of glue at a few spots just to make sure that it really holds nicely. And it's coming along. And once you have it glued, you can kind of move your leaves around a little bit, kind of fluff it up. Sometimes those floral, like the faux floral, they get really smashed and kind of in odd patterns and shapes. So you can bend them and move them as it kind of works best. I'm going to give one more little dot of glue to this guy. And like I said, we're using a plastic plate. You guys, I got this for 79 cents, this plate. So I picked pink because I love using pretty non-traditional colors for all of the seasons. Like I said, so this is a super inexpensive plastic plate, but I really recommend going with colors that speak to you. So if you like to go with more traditional fall colors, I say do it. I really am not too, even though I adore the color orange and coral, I'm just not like a orange, rust, brown kind of person. But if that's your jam, I say embrace it. Okay, so we have bent the other one kind of in the same shape as our, okay, so we are gluing on our two floral pieces. I got these floral pieces from the dollar spot at Target. They were $3 a piece. This little plastic plate I also got at Target, and it was 79 cents. Ooh, careful of that hot glue, it is warm. All right, so we are just zooming along, adding all of our leaves to the plate. I just want to make sure it gets nice and glued on there, because I mean it's live. I don't want it to fall apart in front of everybody on live. Okay, so it takes just a couple spots to glue it where you see it like touching the plate. So that's what we're doing right now. And then as I was saying earlier, you want to make sure that you pull just a few of your leaves off from one of them in kind of an inconspicuous spot, because we're going to have this, I'm trying to let it dry here. We're going to have like a big open area, like right where I have my finger, that where you've cut your floral stems and got wires, and it's gonna look not so pretty. So I have pulled off just a handful of these leaves, and I'm going to cover up where we kind of, it's not so pretty looking. Okay, so I think we're ready to cover up our little messy area. Let me show you guys what it's looking like so far. Can you see this? It's so pretty. This took, I don't know, I mean, I've been chatting it up 3 minutes. Now I did go ahead and cut off the extra wire off camera because it was literally like made of steel, and there was no way that I wanted to be making all those like faces here on live. But okay, so I'm gonna just cover the spot that's kind of not so pretty with a couple leaves, and we'll add our last little kind of finishing touches for our sort of non-traditional. All right, I think one more leaf and we will be good to go to the next step. So really, this is such a quick, easy project, and I love that you could go any direction you want. Like if more traditional colors are your thing, you could definitely put in some acorns and pine cones and go with much more of the traditional color palette for fall. I'm just not a traditional, I mean, do you see me? I'm wearing florals and polka dots. It's just, I like to be a little different. What can I say? Okay, so here it is so far. We've got our leaves glued on. I covered up that spot. You would never know. Thank you for the likes, you guys. Okay, now here's where you could kind of take it in a couple different directions. If you have a vinyl, if you're like a silhouette or a Cricut person with fancy machinery, I own those, but honestly, I'm not like a fancy crafter. I love it to be like simple and a little like not quite perfect. So what I did is I just wrote in cursive the word fall, and then I basically just cut it out with scissors. I did that already. Okay, so this is probably backwards for you guys, but I think it is. Yeah, so if you have like fancy machinery, Cricuts and silhouettes, I have a silhouette. I rarely use it, but if you don't, then I just wrote out the word fall, and then I just cut it out with scissors. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It still will look so cute. You could also go to any craft store. I'm sure they have banners that are just letters. You could write out fall. You could write out anything that you really want. I'm just going with simple construction paper because that's my way. So I'm going to take my fall words, and I am just going to glue that little guy right on my plate for just a little bit of fun. Okay, so I'm going to stand up so I get this right in the perfect spot. You want to make sure that it's not covered up by your beautiful leaves. Put that in. Oh guys, this is looking so cute. I wish it wasn't backwards for you guys, but believe me, it says fall and it looks super adorable. Okay, and then I told you this was such an easy craft, you guys. I'm just going to use some of my black and white ribbon, and we will use that to hang our wreath up. So just cut some ribbon. I always cut significantly more than I need to use because it just makes me feel better that it's always better to have more and be able to cut it off than to not have enough. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just simply glue a spot right here and then another little dot right there, and we will have fun little hanging wreath. This is turning out so adorable. I'm really excited with this guy. Okay, so make sure it's the right direction and be generous with your glue. No need to skimp on this part. Okay. So let that dry for just a couple seconds. Is anyone else just exceedingly happy that it's Friday? This has been a week, you guys. I've had some great things happen on the blog this week. I've had some rough things happen. It's just been a week. Okay. And then we'll add our other, can you guys see this? We're going to add like our other little spot of glue. And if you're using a heavier plate, like I said, I'm just using like a nice lightweight plastic plate, 79 cents. But if you're using a significantly heavier plate, I would recommend something a little bit stronger than hot glue just for this part, because you don't want it to fall off. Command strips maybe, or something like that. So got it glued up. And here we go. Our $7 or $8, if you don't already own the ribbon, fall plate wreath.